Media here at the Pantheon here in Rome, of course, Italy. I've been up to a lot of things lately here in Italy, and one thing I'm really looking forward to bringing all of you is I've done some extensive reporting on the Roman Empire and how it equates to the U.S. empire today, from politics to money and the bread and circuses and the debauchery and all sorts of stuff. And I'm really looking forward to bringing that to you. I also went to the Vatican and did some research there at the Vatican Museum, as well as I'm working on a report on the Vatican itself, but that's a whole other thing. So I wanted to let everyone know about what's actually been happening lately. Yes, I'm still alive. I'm still here. I haven't been able to post videos every day, though you have to admit, I mean, I've been able to get up like 8 or 9 since I've been gone on this 10, I think I'm 10 or 11 days in, so it's not too bad. But nonetheless, yeah, there's a lot that I want to get done right away. And I've got an extensive report that's coming up that I filmed here in this square. I filmed in front of the archaeological site of ancient Rome, the main city around the treasury and everything where they printed all the currency. And in front of the Colosseum, in the middle of the road, I was actually allowed to film in the middle of the road, right leading up to the Colosseum. So it's a really cool shot. I'm looking forward to that as well. And I found some really interesting stuff both in Florence. In Florence, Italy, I found an ancient map from around medieval times. It was around the 1400s, I believe, that showed a place called Atlanticum, in an area that we now know as Mauritania. And there's a lot to discuss there, so I'm going to be bringing you guys that as well. And in the Vatican, I found some really interesting artwork from the Sumerians and ancient Egyptians, and a lot of interesting symbolism that I think a lot of people are missing when they go to a place like that, if they ever go there. I mean, yeah, there's huge lineups to go into. Oh, we got a horse here. There's a lot of interesting stuff that a lot of people look at the Vatican, but do people pay attention to the details? Do people pay attention to the fact that there's Sumerian artwork everywhere, including the infamous bag that we've all seen before? I've done videos on it before. I'm really looking forward to bringing that to you. It's been nonstop walking all day. I'm burnt. I am not in the best shape I've ever been in my life, but my legs have definitely gotten to work out. So, sorry, there's people taking pictures everywhere here. I'm just going to walk into the area of the Pantheon itself here. It's a pretty amazing sight. Send in your questions if you have any. Oh, a kid just ran into me with a scooter. Send in your questions if you have any. I'm happy to answer as many as possible. There's a lot to talk about. How's the food? Honestly, I'm going to be completely honest here. I'm getting really, really sick of only pasta and pizza everywhere I go. So I'm heading to Spain tomorrow. So I'm looking forward to the food choices changing a little bit, because while there is a lot of good food here, it's just, you can only take so much pasta and pizza. Every place I go, the guy in front of the restaurant's like, pasta, pizza, salad. I'm like, great. I've seen that before, next door to your restaurant. Let's see. Host Portolan said pine cone at the center of the Vatican. Yeah, I thoroughly documented that with lions below it with Egyptian hieroglyphs. That's definitely all going to be in a report. I'm also reporting on the obelisks all over the place here. As you can see behind me, that is an ancient Egyptian obelisk, about 4,000 years old, I believe, stolen from Alexandria by the Romans when they conquered. And here I am at probably the most well-preserved Roman structure in the world, the Pantheon. It's unbelievable how well-preserved this ancient relic is. It's still to this day, 2,000 years later, the biggest reinforced concrete dome roof in the world. It's a masterpiece, really, of architecture. You can see above me, it's a lot bigger than it looks on camera. Let's see. Tim Pashot says, I live on pasta and pizza. Yeah, there's a limit, man. Every single day, morning, afternoon, night, I need something other than pasta. Let's see. Fox Coit says, what Yellow Vests do? I have not seen the news. I'm going to be in Paris in the next couple of weeks at some point. I don't know exactly when. And I'll let you know. I'm going to try and find out as much as I can about it. Let's see. I got Jordan Bockhart says, pineal gland rabbit hole. Regarding the pinecone, possibly, because obviously the Sumerian bird creature, some call it an ibis like Thoth, is seen holding the pine cone in the image I posted to Instagram. If you haven't subscribed to me or followed me on Instagram, I'm at World Alt Media. Make sure to follow me there. I have been posting pictures of some of the interesting stuff I've been finding here in Italy. Let's see. Looking through the comments here. Metal Stacker says Spanish tapas are awesome. Yeah, I love Spain. I'm actually really, really looking forward to getting into Spain. Spain's amazing. Sevilla, Barcelona, Malaga. I haven't been to Madrid yet. We'll see if I might end up going there. I'm just trying to find where there's news and there's interesting stuff to cover. I can't. There's a certain way I can't film here because there's military and they'll seize my phone. It's ridiculous. So I'm just going to move over here. There's more light over here anyway. Isn't this amazing? Look at that. This is an incredible structure. And it's 2,000 years old. This right here is 2,000 years old. And there's interesting holes in the ground that go to the underground cavern, which I'm kind of interested in. You could see up there pieces of the roof have fallen. And then you could see right there pieces of them on the ground. It's a pretty amazing sight. I just get giddy with nerdiness walking around this place, and it seems like not enough people are really interested in it. But I spent last night wandering around this place and feeling the walls. I mean, look at this below me here. This is 2,000-year-old artwork here, 2,000 years old. Perfectly aligned north to south, by the way. Interesting note to add, as so many of these places are. Let's see, more questions. By the way, super chats really help. Press like if you haven't already. Likes help bring it to more people, bring the video to more people. So I really appreciate anyone that helps get our video out there. Super chats go to the top so I can read them, and it helps keep us alive so that we can travel to go to interesting places and cover interesting stories. We are sitting on a lot right now that we haven't released yet from this trip because there's so much to do, and also I want to be out of Italy before I post my thing on the Vatican. Let's see, Research Bear says, what's the mood like there? Everyone's happy, though there's a lot of tourism, so it's hard to tell the difference, but everyone seems happy. Military in the streets, though, but you know, there's military police all over Italy because they have a perceived terrorist threat. Jules Davies Hines says the Pantheon was a pagan church, but when Constantine adopted Christianity, they changed all the pagan symbol statues to saints. Yes, so I've read up on this, and one of the things that kind of actually annoys me more than anything is the fact that they actually went and ripped out most of the ceiling. I believe there's a lot of copper there, a lot of gold, and a lot of metals around the ceiling of the Pantheon in the dome. Because they perceived it as pagan. Now, it was, but it's, I don't know, I just don't like seeing history destroyed, even if it's considered evil history, you know? You should just leave things as historical relics as a place like this is. And it's just funny, this bad security camera with a cord going into one of the holes here. Anyway, let's see. I.e. Josh did break into the VAT library. I wish I broke into the Vatican library, but I would have been beheaded. But there's so much I want to see at the... I got a video coming up on that, so I'll save it for then. There's more than that coming up on the Vatican. Sean Fleming says, just a thought, you mentioned Atlantica. What if reshot is remnants, but from much older than originally thought? Any thoughts on Thoth being the builder of the Great Pyramid? Yeah, well, Thoth was a wisdom god. He also brought a great cataclysm like Adam to the masses, as well as Horus. There's a lot of great cataclysms that came from the Egyptians, allegedly. And I think there's something to that. There's a great amount of Thoth symbolism at the Vatican. And remember, he's an ibis-headed god, god of wisdom. Um, I'll go into that more in the report. I don't want to ruin my upcoming reports by doing all of it after a couple rums here at the Pantheon. I want to do a good breakdown report of it, but there's definitely a lot there, and there's definitely a lot to be said about that. And by the way, it's Atlanticum, Atlanticum. You will not find this map anywhere, but I found it in the Galileo Museum in Florence, and it's amazing. I've been speaking with Jimmy from Bright Insight about it, and he's excited. We're all excited. I'm looking forward to bringing that to people. Yeah, and yes, it is right where Mauritania is. So that's a sneak peek for everyone that's interested. I've been losing a lot of viewership. I've been getting an average of 2,000 views a day on this channel with 1,500 videos and 132,000 subscribers. So we've been ridiculously cut down. Like I'll have a video go viral and I'll just stop dead. And it will get 2 views the next day after it goes viral with tens of thousands of views. And seriously, it'll just end up getting 2 or 3 views the next day because people search it out and click on it. And subscribers won't see it. And everything goes downhill from there. And suddenly I'll go from getting 40,000 views in a day for the whole channel to getting like 2,000 or 3,000. It's ridiculous. It's really sad. Anyway, Cajun Jamis says, "When in Rome, do as the rape and pillage." Is that what Romans did? Let's see. Sancho S says, "So state of martial law in Italy." I wouldn't call it full martial law because most of these guys don't actually follow the laws. They just stand there and hold automatic weapons. That's it. I mean, one guy, I did get harassed in Milan. I got harassed in Milan when I was videotaping a public square. A guy came up to me, a military guy, he said that you're not allowed to film if any military guys end up in the shot. So I found that kind of interesting because like the guy tried to seize my camera. He tried to seize my camera and he tried to delete the footage off the camera. And I was just filming a public square. So yeah, there's that. But that only happened once. I just filmed today in the middle of the Coliseum Road leading to the Coliseum there. So that wasn't an issue. Let's see. Doug209 says it's pronounced tote. Apparently, that's not what I've heard from Egyptian scholars, but they're also Egyptian scholars, so who knows how realistic anything they say is. Shane Lackey says rum. Exactly. It's a good drink to have during dinner here. Nobody knows what Cuba Libre is. I don't usually drink cola unless it's with rum. And I have one alcoholic drink I'll ever drink. Because I know it, and I know it won't do me wrong, and I know that I'll be able to handle it one way or another without issue. Remember, it's nighttime here, guys. Probably daytime for most of you, wherever you're watching this. Let's see. What's being said here? Thought Police, hope y'all are doing good. It's a shame you have a couple of great videos. I appreciate that. I hope I have a couple, more than a couple. I've got 1,500 videos. I hope I have, but I appreciate the compliment nonetheless. Cody says you're lucky you still get super chats. Yeah, it would be nice if YouTube allowed me to reach the 80% of people that they cut out of my notification reach and my video reach. I was cut down 80% by YouTube. Evan F, glad you're out here, Josh. You're crushing it. God bless. Thank you, Evan, to you as well. I'm guessing you're from Italy or somewhere in Europe. Lots to talk about here. I did do a video a couple days ago on the state of the Italian economy as well as politics here as they're entering into an election. Make sure to check that out as well, because apparently no one has. Digital Mont says, say hi to Salvini, okay? If I saw Salvini, I'd do more than say hi. I would definitely confront him on some issues. Sean Fleming, thanks, Josh. Awesome. Love Jimmy at Bright Insight as well. You guys should get on camera at the same time. That would rock. Yeah, we've been talking about it. I spoke with Jimmy. I mentioned this a few times. Like, we should do this eventually. We both have to be in the right situation, and we both have to not be busy at the same time, which is difficult. I think he's a really busy guy. I don't know exactly what he does, but he seems like a very busy guy. That's why he doesn't release videos as much. I'm sure it's not by choice. Let's see. Singula says, well, every big city in Europe is filled with military police types whole my life. Yeah, I know. Well, it's a police state, of course. And that's how empires fall. And I got a video coming on that soon, alongside money printing. Lightning Rod says, happy Josh Live Day. Well, thank you. It's become a holiday. It's because tourists need to be protected here, says Singula. Yeah, but I feel more in danger when there's military around me. I felt the same when I was traveling around Africa. Government kills more people than any other entity, so why would I feel safer when they're around? Andrew Kent says, I kind of think I would feel safe with a tank there. Yeah, except for why should I trust that guy over that random person going down the street? There's crowds of people here. Someone does something stupid and, I mean, they'll get attacked. But the thing is, they banned like all self-defense here. So, of course, you're in a situation where now you have the government as the only self-defense, which makes people dependent and subservient and in fear as well. And fear is one of the greatest tools of the establishment to keep people at bay. And Sean Fleming says, I've heard tot as well, like tater tot. Yeah, there's a lot of different, I don't know. I think a lot of it is going off of Rosetta Stone stuff, which I don't think is completely accurate, and just how it's been passed down over the years, because no one was there to really see how everyone pronounced things. It's hard to say, though. Jimmy Fred Insight is firmly in the camp of climate apocalypse. Says Lightning Rod. Not that I've seen. Evan, and by the way, who cares what people think? It's about what people do. Evan F., I'm from North Carolina, USA, my friend. Oh, great, good to hear. Paolo Bonandin. Hi, Josh. Good to see you, Paolo. It figures that you're probably in Acapulco in Mexico while I'm here in Italy, but I've been enjoying it. Milan, Verona, Venice, Florence, Rome. It's been an amazing trip, and I've enjoyed every moment. I'm getting sick of the pasta and the pizza, but other than that, I'm loving it. And there's so much history here to delve into. Jim says, hi, Josh. Hello, Jim. Jigitel Munt says, okay, deal. Brian Jones, thanks for your work. When is the revolution? I don't know if there's going to be I'm sure there's going to be some kind of revolution, but I think it's more going to be an evolution. I think that's going to be based in the market and technological developments and new marvels and things to replace the old system rather than look for a new system within the old system. You know what I mean? The change we can believe in, that kind of stuff over and over again for eternity. By the way, again, any super chats really help. They keep us alive. They make it possible for us to survive here at WAM. Otherwise, I'm broke and I can't do anything. By the way, it costs more money to stay in the same place than to travel. So people think when I'm going to these places that I'm spending a whole bunch of money, but I'm actually not. I'm spending less money going on these trips. And people have to remember that I don't work like a normal wage job. So that's one of the major things that affects most people when it comes to traveling to these places. So they think of it as a vacation. But for me, I'm trying to find information, work, and develop new information that people haven't seen yet, and investigate certain things in places where people don't often investigate. That's why I'm going to Iraq. That's why I'm going to Turkey. That's why I'm going to Iran and all these other places. That's why I went to Mauritania and Western Sahara and Morocco. So I really appreciate anything anyone could do to help us stay alive. These live streams are basically the only way for us to stay alive these days as far as super chats go. Those super chats make it possible for us to actually do things. Otherwise, we're doomed. We don't make really any money at all here at WAM these days. Paolo says, I'm in Sweden. Oh, well, I'm not going to Sweden anytime soon, but have fun there. I hear it's beautiful. It's one place I have not gone, and I hope I get to see at some point in the near future. I love how I have my own little private area here at the incredible Pantheon. These pillars are from Egypt. They're huge. They're all one piece, all the way down. Look at the size of that. It's like the size of a 15-story building. It's ridiculous. I mean, they're still, in a lot of ways, glossy and like soft as they were when they were put in 2,000 years ago. Amazing. Truly amazing. Let's see. Got more comments coming in. Fly on the Wall says, hi, Josh. Hello, Fly on the Wall. Good to see you. Let's see. So there's a bunch of comments. I'm not seeing all of them. Jim says, isn't it sick, Josh, that the military, police, and tanks around you are not there to protect you from Italians, but from immigrants the EU lets in? Well, Italy doesn't really allow many immigrants in, by the way. There's a military vehicle. Got to be quick with that. Italy doesn't really do that. That's been a huge matter of controversy here. There's been a lot of restrictions on immigration here, almost at the same level as the United States. Honestly, it's who creates that problem in the first place? Who commits those atrocities, bombs those people, arms and funds those entities, creates chaos out of fear and order out of chaos? That's something that we've seen for a very long time, and it's just this perpetuation that we see coming from the state, and then the state comes in and says, hey, want help? And it's like, well, you guys just created the problem. Well, people are scared. They say, oh, there's different cultures coming in that are, making it difficult for us to make a living, or have a job. They might attack women and children, all that kind of stuff. But it's all an emulation of the state in the first place. That's the entity that created that issue in the first place. And then people look at the state as the savior, and it's really sad. The walls are not the solution to this problem. That's Hegelian. The solution is not continuously perpetuating government and getting government to solve the problems of government over and over again for eternity. Anyway. Jim, who are the tanks and police for then, Josh? To keep order and fear, so everyone remembers who's in charge? The government, the organized crime racket. That's what they're for. And that's what they're always for. Let's see here. Sean Fleming, exactly right, Josh, but the awesome guide from the Pyramid Code, RIP, sir, you and your wisdom will be missed, explained that some letters that were written weren't spoken. Thoughts? Yeah, okay, so I completely agree with that. I know who you're talking about. He was part of he was the reason for the formation of the Mehmet tour groups that go around that area. The Pyramid Code was a great film. It missed a lot of things. It didn't cover a lot of things, but it was a very, very interesting documentary, and also one of the only things I've ever seen that actually talked about how the pyramids align, and you could see each pyramid from each other if you stand on top of them, all the way down the Nile, and properly explained the ability of electromagnetic currency and frequency to come from the water underneath the pyramid, generated to the top of the pyramid through granite and limestone to the gold cap. I think that was incredibly well explained in that documentary. Speaking of Egypt, I got an ancient Egyptian obelisk that's 4,000 years old behind me, and there's a lot more to be said about obelisks, and I am doing a report on that right away, so stay tuned. I am working on that. There's just only so much I can do while I'm literally moving from city to city, town to town, country to country. Let's see what we got here. Sean Fleming, can anyone give an example of how extremely large Egyptian columns got there? Well, if you see behind me, you see the people sitting by the columns, and then you see how large they are. I'm sure there's so much underground. Rome is about 20 to 30 feet underground. The ground goes downhill towards the Pantheon here to account for the difference in height. And I'll show you something if my phone permits me to. Hopefully I have enough battery left. I haven't seen anything tell me otherwise yet. My phone seems to be dying really fast due to being old these days. But I'll show you something. I'm technically not supposed to do this, but no one stops me every time I do it. I got to be careful because there's rats everywhere, and I prefer not to have to deal with rats. They disgust me. But there's underground, like you see here. Oh, there's a number around here. So there's pieces of the roof right here that fell from all the way up there. You could see where it's missing. And I'm gonna walk down here. Okay, avoid rats. Okay, so I don't know how well you could see that, but there's this here. And during the daytime, you could see it much better. But at the end, well, first of all, right here, I don't know how well you could see that. You probably can't. But there is an area, there's a hole in this stonework here, and there's a hole at the end. And now, there's a lot of these. Like underneath these little steps here, there is more stuff underneath them. And underneath them is a whole underground cavern of, sorry, a bit of exercise there. There's a whole underground cavern of tunnels that go miles around Rome. Ancient Roman tunnels, and you could see little holes down towards them. And they're brilliantly built. And a lot of people don't realize this, and you see just these ancient relics just sitting there unappreciated for the most part. This is the most well-preserved Roman structure that I know of other than in Baalbek, Lebanon, which I plan on going to soon as well. It's amazing that these bricks are original. The glossiness is still here on these columns. Jim says those tunnels are how the Vatican sneak the children in. Possibly. I should not laugh at that because that's probably true. Because they built 20 to 30 feet above the ground after Roman times, after Rome fell. Again, I'm doing a video on that. Stay tuned for that. Press to be notified. Press like on this video. All that stuff to help the algorithm really helps. And super chats help as well. Keep us alive. But I'm doing a video on that and how they built this city, and they fell just as they say Rome wasn't built in a day, but it fell in a day. Yeah, but it fell slowly over time due to inflation, all that kind of stuff. I got a whole video coming up on that. But also, so they built on top about 20 to 30 feet up from the original level. Just garbage and residue, and they used the roofs of structures as a foundation of new houses and buildings. And most of these buildings around me are from the 14 and 1500s, from the Renaissance, where they built on top of all this stuff. This was left vacant for a very long time. It's just a relic, and now it's a museum, as is the Roman Empire. It's just a relic, something that people take selfies in front of. It's amazing how those things change. But most of Rome is still underground, and so there's still city streets underground that they've dug out a lot of the dirt so you could walk under there, and you could see into some of them just down there, where you see these little areas where there's holes in the wall, and if you shine a flashlight into it, you can see that it goes a long way into tunnels and all sorts of stuff. So it's pretty amazing. Tim, the Liberty Advisor, says, "Are you headed to Spain next?" I am. I'm heading there tomorrow. I'm really looking forward to that. I love Spain, and I can't wait to do some investigations there as well, which is one of the major things I've been trying to get going over there. I've been talking with certain people. I'm trying to get into a few sites that are as old as 10,000 years old. It's pretty amazing. Let's see. Paul Valencia says, "We are Rome." That's exactly what the report's about. Comparing the similarities, which there are so many of, and I don't think anyone's actually broken it down to the extent that I have in this video before. So I'm hoping that people check that out. Mike Loney did a video on the money system regarding Rome back then and the U.S. government today. But I wanted to add as much of it to as much to it as possible. So I took from all angles, from culture and media and bread and circuses and politics and of course the monetary system. So yeah, I'm looking forward to bringing you guys that. Make sure to tune in for that. It has become nightfall here in Rome, and I know most of you guys are watching where it's light out. I'm gonna have to probably get going soon, so any one that can press the like on this video, much appreciated. And anyone that can help out in any way possible, much appreciated. And I couldn't do it without you guys. I really couldn't. I'm gonna cut through here for a moment. At the back of the Pantheon here. See what I can see here. We've got the back of the building here, and as you can see how far down it is. This is what I mean by 20 to 30 feet down. Pretty amazing, isn't it? This structure is 2,000 years old. Still has bits of the wall left. I'm getting a 10% battery notice here, so I probably don't have much time left here. So I'm gonna do the best I can to quickly get to the other Egyptian obelisk if my internet permits me. We'll see. Anyway, any other comments, any other questions? Much appreciated. Hopefully my internet works between these stone buildings here. I'm on a stupid $12 a day data plan they finally gave me after spending a ridiculous amount of money just trying to have internet when I'm out here in Europe. Anyway. Sean Fleming says there's so much more to this planet and to our history. I firmly believe Graham Hancock is correct. Thoughts on that? I firmly believe so too. I don't agree with 100%, but I think that I agree with probably 95%. That's why I'm so passionate about reporting on that very subject matter. Coppers. Samuel Mann says, what's your PayPal? I got banned from PayPal because of a scam this guy tried to commit on me. Did a chargeback on money that we fair and square exchanged on PayPal a long time ago. And like months and months later, suddenly called back that money. And it caused there to be a scam payment, a fraud payment, and that led to me getting banned from PayPal. But what I'm trying to think of, there's we got GoFundMe, Patreon, Subscribestar. There's crypto pledges on Float. There's super chats here on YouTube, which I think work in the same way for the most part as PayPal as far as credit cards go, and stuff like that. So there's a lot of options. Unfortunately, there's Interact, like you could send me email money transfers if you're in Canada or if your bank allows you to, all that kind of stuff, that all works. And I also have a Bitcoin address that's attached to most of my videos below and all that kind of stuff. Not this one because it's a live stream and it gives me weird options as far as what I put in the description on these. Jim says, Josh, thoughts on gold and silver will go up or down when the week kicks in? I have absolutely no idea. It all depends on how much it's manipulated. By the way, my phone might die at any moment here, so hopefully the video ends up actually going up. Excuse me while I wander into traffic here. It's cool not getting cut off by cops who are literally right there for jaywalking. It's just too many people to deal with, I think. But yeah, I'm not sure if it will. I think there's a good chance that it will, but that all depends on what the Fed does next. And if they end up lowering, if they end up lowering interest rates further, that's a very real possibility. So I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure we're going to see negative interest rates by 2021 for sure. I would be surprised if it took that long, honestly. All right, I'm here. Hopefully it doesn't die right as I get here. See the little merchants everywhere? You couldn't have this in the United States, so-called free markets. Huh, what a bunch of nonsense. All right, here we are. I'm gonna end the video here before the phone dies. I really appreciate everyone tuning in. It means a lot to me. If you wanna check our GoFundMe, all that kind of stuff, we could really use the money so that we can investigate stories around the world. It's not free to get into the Vatican and to look through archives and look through the Galileo Museum and stuff like that, and go to places like Iraq, Mauritania, Turkey, etc. So anything you guys can do to help, we really appreciate it. Anyways, stay tuned for our latest videos from Rome and throughout Italy, Spain, and France. I cannot wait to bring it to you. And also check out Anarchadelphia 2019, where we will be speaking. That is promo code WHAM, save 10% on your tickets, stateofanarchy.com, or just Anarchadelphia. You could Google that as well. So I really appreciate it. Thanks for watching, everyone. I'm dying from the heat and sunburn dramatically. And we couldn't do it without all of you guys. So enjoy your day, night, wherever you are in the world. And this is Josh Sigurdson signing out from Rome, from World Alternative Media. Find the truth, be the change.